So we're gonna save the legal talk for another day, but I think it's so funny. Maybe in the in the thumbnail for this video, I'm gonna put the message that Camille sent me. But it was basically like the guy who's like sitting down eating the popcorn just because there's always so much drama. And there is. It's just like a continuous flow of bullshit, and I'm shocked. That's actually not what I wanted to talk about today. Like right now, I'm very, very interested in the conversation that's happening with ABBA and Preach, and then Khadija Mumbai, right? Okay, so basically, this had to be like 2 months ago. She made a video like the men's are not are the men doing okay, right? And she was citing this study that was like, single women are much happier. It's actually men who need to be married more. Now, I guess like that particular article has been kind of debunked, but still, it does warrant a conversation about like this emerging trend of kind of like modern women who are not in relationships, who are not having children. It's a real thing, right? Especially in America. In other countries too, though. And Khadijah and Ab and Preach are all in Canada. So so they make a response video to her video, and they're kind of like critiquing it, and their point is basically married people are happier, all the single women are so desperate and alone, they're not doing well. So, oh my gosh, like this was so today Khadijah does a live, which is a response video. Now I cannot describe to you every single like female content creator except for Kelly Stamps was in this chat. So there was like 4,000 people in her live, and we were all commenting. Julian was there. T was there, Fab Socialism, Julesy hops on, Tara with the cow. It was like every fucking like female content creator across YouTube was in this chat. It was like meeting of the minds. I don't even know how to describe. It was so good. It was so good. Like I was shook. Like if you weren't there, you should definitely rewatch. But like, tune into the chat because, bro, every content creator was there, and I think it's because we all like love Khadijah. Like Khadijah is like that girl, and she made a really good point. She was like, I have cultivated this community for sort of like intellectual conversations around not just feminism, but just kind of like modern issues in a sense. And she's right. So many people have cited her work. Like basically everybody has cited her work. I mean, she's like, yeah, she's kind of like the pioneer of like this community of like black intellectuals with like video essays who are female. And I feel like Tara's white, but the other funny thing, and I've been saying this, Tara put it in the chat and I just started dying. She was like, why is everybody Canadian? Why is everybody Canadian? Abba and Preach are in Montreal and Khadijah's in Montreal too. Like they're literally in the same space. Um, the whole thing was just like, if you weren't there, you should have been there. You have to watch that live. Like it was just so good. It was just so good. So good. Um, that is definitely my beer. Yay, thank you. Yes. It was that miso?
Yes, it is. One hot tea as well.
Yay! Thank you. Oh, she's great. Yeah, but dude, that the conference, and the thing is, and I feel like there were a few people who were basically like, all my favorite content creators are finally talking to each other, and there are other people who were trying to call it arguing, where they like, I will say, Khadijah was very passionate in her response. Mm.
Thermals as well.
Yes, that was so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's the Alaska spicy tuna. And can I grab you anything else for the moment?
I'll take some more ginger, like a
Sorry.
lot of ginger. No, it's okay. Yeah, no. So Khadijah, she in some parts of it, she kind of started crying. Oh, I'll show you guys this before I dive in. We just got sushi. That's it. We've got miso. We've got beer. Yeah. She started crying a little bit because she got really passionate because she kind of felt like Abba and Preach were like, thank you so much. Like they were attacking her point of view and the safe space that she's tried to build. And I understand that because it's true. Like she's kind of the only person who was talking about those type of issues before everyone else. I mean, it was like the video vixen essay. That was pretty how do I don't know. No one's ever really made that content before her. So I get where she was coming from. I get it. Um, but also, I think I appreciate Abba and Preach's like viewpoint because in terms of like what we've seen, the super leftist dudes, right, the super liberals, and then like the super alpha males. Some people who were, I feel like they were unfamiliar with Abba and Preach were calling them like the red pill men. Like they are not red pill men, and they've been hypercritical of red pill men. To me, they're more moderate. And I think that it's totally okay for both of those opinions to exist on the internet at the same time without it being like problematic. Like, that's another thing I thought. Oh crap, sorry, I dropped that. So I don't know. I thought it was super weird because people were like, well, if she, since they don't agree, then they're like enemies or something. Like literally people do not know how to disagree. And then the most interesting part of this was like toward the end of their video, they just went on this rant where they were like, I hate it when you start to talk to a woman and she gets all emotional. And then you're like, oh my God, you're so emotional. And then she was like, this is the perfect point, right? Because so Abba and Preach are complaining. They're like, yo, every girl that you talk to, she's dated a narcissist. And then every guy has dated like a crazy girl. And it's like, okay, so basically that they just proved the point that everybody is like emotionally, did not know how to regulate emotions, right? This is just true. But it's like a problem for everybody, not just like women or men. And then it was super weird because the men were having like this emotional response to what she was saying. And then they were like, I hate when women are emotional. And it was just like, wow, you're like literally proving her point. And it was just, all of it was just super weird. And then they were talking about like, how did they put it? They were like, oh, but it's how you express your emotions. Now I feel, and so they were talking about like stability, right? And that's one thing that I do think, I appreciate the conversation happening just because I think it's going to enable more just Black people in general to have conversations about like emotional intelligence and like expression. Because like I feel like in terms of the internet, like we haven't really seen except FD Signifier. It's like FD Signifier came and with his like, academia, his like PhD, and obviously he's like changed everything. But like besides him, who else is like making content about feelings, gender norms, hypermasculinity? Nicki Minaj, like come on, he's like really changed everything. But I like the moderate perspective of Abba and Preach. I feel like Abba and Preach are dudes that are like dateable, right? Like so many men are just so out of touch with everything. They're wondering like why they're feeling so miserably. And it's like men, like, yes, there's some problematic parts to what Abba and Preach were saying. On another hand, I think that they are more pragmatic than, they're just in the middle, right? Like, because there's like the red pillars who are just such a problem. There's the extreme leftists who are like also a really big problem. I feel like they're somewhere in the middle. And I also feel like because both communities are so passionate about this topic, and I feel like it's like the topic of the moment, I hope that they get together and actually like unpack the topic. Also, I feel like actually everyone who is actually a content creator has seen that like all the super intellectuals are coming from Canada. Like it's everybody. If you're looking for like Asian content creators, everybody's Canadian. because Natalie Tran. How long have I been saying this? A very long time. It's at least had to be like 2 years now. Okay. The whole thing. It's just a really interesting time. A really interesting time to watch content. I'm here for it. I am so here for it. It's just, oh man, it's so good, so good. Camille's gift was hella funny. Like this, the thumbnail for this is her eating popcorn and being like, dude, it's just, um, also Kelly Stamps made a good video today about life as a loner, and I've got to say it's pretty accurate. I dig her. She finally started dancing in her apartment, which, yeah, Kelly. Yes. Yum yum. Yum 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 yum. Yum 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 yum.
How's everything tasting?
Really good. Thank you. Sorry. Oh, okay. So, I know I talked about this before, but let's unpack bed politics for a second because I was talking to Dev about this. So, Dev actually has a bed frame, right? Now I have like $171 in Amazon credit, and so I'm gonna buy so I was trying to think about how much it would cost to ship my metal frame to Nashville, and it was like $4,000 or something crazy like that. So no. Um, and then to buy the same one would cost like $150. But I could also get one with a headboard. Now, the problem here is that I don't want to have any bed bugs problems. I just do not. I hate the idea, the possibility of bed bugs. And you kind of eliminate that entire process when you get a metal bed frame. Like metal bed frames eliminate the possibility for bed bugs. But if you get a wire one, you could be fucked up and then you'll have to replace everything, right? And like oh god, like bed bugs are just so off. They're so off. So, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just get the the same metal one I have now. That I mean, the look, like I don't know. I don't really care about the headboard enough. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. Like when I'm in bed, I sleep. So what do I need? I don't. I think other people do that for like the looks and stuff. And then I was trying to figure out. The only thing I'm gonna ship is my trash can because I do have a Simple Human that's actually really nice. My air fryer and my electric kettle. Ew, what's that? It's like a potted soup or something. Yeah. Also, I do want to come on and give a shout out to Alvin. I hate you so much. You're the worst. That's all I have to say about that.